Welcome to another Todd's
2-Minute Tech Tip Tuesday.
Brought to you by the National RV Training Academy, the largest hands-on RV training academy in America. Hey, before we get to the video, which I know this is the reason why you're here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss anything. Hit the subscribe button now. Thank you. Now, back to our Tech Tip Tuesday. Today it's springtime, and it's a wonderful time.
Todd, before we get started, scoot over a little bit, I want to tell you about RV Unplugged Season 2. Now, Todd and I and the team have been working on this for a long time, and it is coming out May 29th this month. So there's going to be a live watch party on YouTube. You can go online with the cast and chat with them during episode 1. It's going to be awesome. We have a 4-time Emmy Award-winning production company that put it together for us. So this is going to be great. It's going to be a great season, and NRVTA is a sponsor of RV Unplugged Season 2. So you got to check it out. We put the trailer at the end of this video. There's a link in the description. And all right, back to your tech tip. Here you go, Todd.
Hey, Todd here, and this week I've got Ryan from Millers in Motion with us. We're going to go ahead and look at some of the questions that you guys ask about your RVs. And Ryan said that, you know, he's a tech wannabe, and he says he can answer a lot of this stuff.
I've definitely broken one of those.
Yeah, so, an RV, which means you own one.
Well, yeah, that one.
All right, so we're going to answer your questions. And by the way, I know that you're still asking about that Luma safe. Here's the thing. Testing is wonderful. What we're trying to do now is figure out where we're going to put it, you know, and so I should have that out here pretty shortly. And a hint, I do like it. So watch out for that video. It's coming up in the next 2 or 3 videos. All right, so let's go ahead and answer some of your questions. Now, this is where you guys ask questions down at the bottom, and I go ahead and answer some of those. So let's go ahead and start off with this one. And of course, I see this. This is from Earl Ballantyne. It says, great video. Well, there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like those things, right? See, you always get so much more with honey than you do vinegar. Right? When people go, you didn't answer all of it. Well, it's 2 minutes and it was free. So, suck it.
And that guy was nice.
Yeah. Great video. Todd, is it safe to replace my cheap 110 volt 15 amp outlet with a residential 15 amp outlet from a local hardware store? Here's the considerations. You want to go ahead and tackle this? Because you said you've done it yourself.
I've actually done this one. So in our Alliance Valor, we have an option of putting a washer-dryer hookup in the front or the back, but they only provide one side. So I wanted to move it to the back, and when I did that, I added a residential version of that outlet. Now, doing that, because the walls are shallow, typically on a residential box, because by code, things have to be in a box on the back side of your electrical outlets, it's about 4 inches. You don't got 4 inches in an RV.
Right. So standard box 4 inches.
Yeah. So, but you can get a shallow box, which is 2 inches, and you're still going to have to finagle it in there. But I would actually argue it's actually better.
Yeah. So here's the thing, and I know what you're talking about with the cheap 110 volt 15 amp outlet. So those outlets, sometimes I think it's called a speed outlet or something like this. There's basically you don't normally hook them up like you normally would. You actually press it into 2 little areas where it actually cuts into the wire. Well, if you're also going to, you know, daisy chain it to the next one, it's absolutely trash, because we know with electricity, contact space is everything.
Yes.
And you're only touching, you know, the 2 sides of that blade. You're not going to get the full contact you would. So a lot of people do switch those out. Now, here's the thing. Those cheap ones that you're talking about come in their own box.
Yep.
Right? So they don't take up much room. And as you're pointing out, they do sell shallow boxes. However, just a little bit off.
They are a little off, and you have to be really aware of what's on the other side so you can kind of press it in there good. And one thing I'll add, too, is that those press boxes, I don't know if the technical term, not a tech. When you try to reuse them, they don't work anywhere near as well they did the first time. So I would never reuse them, just replace them if you are going to flip it out for what the RV manufacturers use. Yeah,
so it is, as long as you put it in a box, you're going to be looking for what we call a shallow box, and be prepared that on your fascia, you know, your faceplate, you may have to do some alterations for it to sit flush, because that 2 inch, and it depends on the manufacturer, you know, roughly 2 inches, and it may be 1 7/8 inches or something like that, and that's a little bit of.
And typically your hole cutout's smaller too.
Yeah.
So you may have to widen that a little bit.
Little adjustments, but yes. But when you're talking about is it legal, what we're going to say is it has to be contained within a box. But absolutely. All right. I've got another one, and it's from Mr. Ziff.
Okay.
My problem is, it just starts off with that. Well, first name is Mr. My problem is, well, we know your problem. You're Mr. Right? That's what I'm told all the time. My problem is my instant hot water tank only flows when the pump is on. Question mark? Does that make sense? When we hooked to the city water, we needed the pump on using the freshwater tank, the pump on the freshwater tank to get hot water. What is your advice? All right, here's the thing. So from what I gather, he's got an instant hot water tank. Okay.
Sounds like it.
Right, and I do call them tanks because even though they're tankless water heaters, they still have a little reservoir.
Yep.
All right, so here's the thing about these, flow is everything. So one of two things, all right? You're saying, from what I can gather, that you only get hot water when you use the water pump. When you hook up to city, no hot water comes out. So my first thought is bypass valve. You got a bypass valve somewhere. So over at your wet base system, I don't know if there's a sanitize, normal, but bypass valve may be off a little bit. Number two is, depending on which RV park you're in, right? I said flow is everything. Depending on the manufacturer, you'll need anywhere from between 0.4 gallons per minute and 0.7 gallons per minute of water flow, okay? And depending on how old that water heater is, right, the instant water heater, there's going to be some mineral buildup on the little propeller that actually records the flow, right? Actually, it doesn't record it, it spins, right? And anytime you got a motor that, a little motor that spins, it's like a little generator. It sends a little millivolt signal. So that's how that all works, right? So either way, either you've got not enough flow or you got a bypass valve problem. And I think that's where it is. So you want to look in your manual, check there may be a bypass valve that's not letting the city water go to the hot water. My question would be, do you even have any water coming out when you turn it on the city?
I'd also ask if there's like if you just have low pressure all the time anyway, because maybe you've got a pressure regulator or something that's set way too low.
Right.
So that could be another.
Oh, I was headed down that way. I did not say that?
No.
Oh, okay, because I was saying, depending on which RV park you're in, yeah, it could be the flow from the city.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it could be loose. Like you could.
I thought I said it. It was
The
in my head.
park could have a low flow, but then you could also be prohibiting that flow in addition to that.
Yeah, in addition to that. So check that out. All right. Love watching this show. Sweet. Now we're a show. I didn't even read this one. Oh, wait. All right. Let me go ahead and tackle it. Okay. What are your thoughts on upgrading an air conditioner? As an average sized individual, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Are you hot? You should.
Yeah. I have a 2016 Coleman, cleaned every year, and it doesn't hardly keep up at all. I want to install a Furrion 15,000 BTU. Any thoughts? How much better do you think it might perform, or am I doomed with only one AC? My RV is a Keystone Hideout 28 BH, one slide, 30 amps also. The add-on heater worth the extra money and the effort? No. All right.
I'm assuming she means
myself.
like a heat
Okay.
strip on that.
Yeah. Well, the Coleman offers a heat strip, and it's really not worth it.
Right.
My opinion. Well-educated opinion. No. You're not going to get, for the cost of you buying, and it doesn't matter what brand it is, it's not that I'm against Furrion. Let's say you have a 13.5 BTU air conditioner go to 15,000, you're going to see a nominal difference, okay? Part of the thing is, you're in an RV. It's too hot where you're at. Move.
And if you can't move, look into some other things, because some of us don't have that luxury every time. Thanks,
Right.
Todd. But
Well, it's
like,
not me. I don't ever get to go anywhere. I have to sit here and answer questions all the time.
like for us, if we're in North Texas for an extended period of time and we know it gets hot in North Texas, we'll add Reflectix to the windows.
Yep.
We'll put some insulation, we'll take some measures to help prevent some of that heat coming in.
Yep. That's second law of thermodynamics, by the way. Heat runs to cold.
I know
If you
more
can
than I-
stop the heat coming in, then you don't need as much. But I will tell you, 28 foot, that's awfully huge for one AC.
Yeah, that is. You might want to consider just a second AC if you have the room for it.
Yeah, so you need to find out. And I don't know on that particular model if one was prepped. If you look over, if you have a fan,
Max Air fan.
max air fan or something like that in the middle, you have to get 120 volts to it, but that'd be a second way. And that would definitely help out, right? Rather than replace the one you have, is add a second one. Absolutely. All right, let's do one more here real quick. All right, this is from Haxor. Haxor.
That's a fun name.
Yeah. The RV we are buying is enclosed heated tanks, but we want to run electric heat as much as possible to avoid going through a large amount of propane. The two 30-pound tanks we want to conserve it. I said it right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little confused.
Yeah. You can run the electric heat and use the furnace. can you run the electric heat and then use the furnace fan to circulate the air to the RV to keep the tanks heated? So he's talking about the holding tanks now.
Okay, there we
Not
go.
talking about the propane tanks. So he's talking
That's what
about
I
the
thought we were
holding
talking
tanks for
about.
the water.
Okay.
Right? Because when you're in cold climates, right, it's exposed out there. And a lot of systems, if you have to turn the furnace on, it's ducted over to that heating tank, holding tank. First and foremost, the question is do you have heated tanks?
Yeah.
Right? Turn that on. If you don't, no, you can't do what you're asking, right? And I get what you're saying is, okay, if I use electric heat, whatever that may be, is there a way I can turn on the furnace fan? The problem is the logic in these circuit boards for the furnaces. We don't have a fan-only option. The only fan-only option we have is on the air conditioner, not on the furnace.
Right.
So unfortunately, there's no way to get into your thermostat on the wall and say, hey, just turn on the fan, don't do anything else.
Right.
So unfortunately not. I'd also look to see if there's maybe a way you can get a ducted fan and run it over to that area,
Right.
From there as well. But unfortunately, no. It was a great idea.
Yeah.
Just the logic in that board doesn't allow you to do that. But there's always other things to do. One is move. It's too freaking cold. You're in an RV. Freaking move. But no. Yeah. What were we going to say?
I was going to say, I didn't know if it would be a better option to maybe purchase some heating pads or essentially the element that keeps the tanks warm
By the way,
and install those.
You can, yeah. You'd have to remove the belly board.
Sure.
And hopefully you got a belly board, because if you don't, man, you really chose wrong, right? For cold weather. Not saying it may be a wonderful RV, but if there's no belly board, it's going to be even colder.
Right.
But yes, you can go to Amazon and type in silicone heating pads. Silicone heating pads, right? Slap those things on there. They come in 12-volt varieties. They come in 120-volt varieties. It's the same silicone heating pads that we can use to actually keep our propane tanks warm, right? We can throw those on and actually do a little upgrade. You don't have to do the wiring
Right.
To wherever, but yeah, that'd be
That seems like the easiest of the options.
yeah, and it's actually probably the most effective. You just add that heating source right to the bottom of that holding tank, you're golden. All right.
There's your tech tip.
All right, before you get to the bloopers, which is why you're here in the first place, the RV industry needs thousands of RV technicians and inspectors, and now is the perfect time to do that. If you want to make more money or have more control over your time, go ahead and click the link below. Or if you just want to learn how to fix your own RV, got something for you there. Head over to rvtechcourse.com and get started today. Now for the reason that you're at the end of the video, roll the bloopers. Hey, Todd here, and here's
Me.
yeah, so hey, Todd here, and I'm sitting next to I'm standing
So in our Alliance Valor, we have a, wow.
My problem is my instant you want to say it with me?
Sure.
There's your tech tip.
Oh, I guess I should
That's
say
what
it.
to say.
I was looking for your little thing and I got it.
I don't know about this.
Ugh, come on, Bill. Stop being such a baby. You can do this.
Yeah. Okay.
This is going to be so fun.
You said you wanted more twists. You said you wanted more drama. Welcome to RV Unplugged Season 2. 10 couples, ranging from their 20s to their 60s. From diesel pushers and fifth wheels to travel trailers and teardrops. They will be battling it out for a chance to win the Camp Margaritaville Auburndale $25,000 grand prize and the coveted title of RV Unplugged Champion. This year, everything changes.
We knew that it was going to come down to one couple. Only one couple can win.
We cannot be on the chopping block. There's only one team that's going to be eliminated, and it cannot be us.
I just want to say this sucks.
You got 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Tonight, there will be a double elimination.
These are real tears. These are real emotions.
We got to do what we got to do.
Nice.
You conquered a fear that you normally wouldn't do. That's
right.
a win, no matter what. That's a life win. That's bigger than this.